Are agencies valuable to home service businesses in 2025? I think there is a new era of agency owners entering the scene, and it's starting to disrupt the market a little bit. There's some good, there's some bad, and that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. The first thing is, are agencies valuable to home service businesses? A huge problem that I'm currently seeing in the market right now. And then what the future of agencies actually looks like, and what I think is going to be happening in the near future. Hey everybody, my name is Jordan Danzy. I'm a marketing and home service fanatic. I recently helped 30 plus different home service businesses in multiple niches scale using my 3-pillar framework. And in this video, I'm going to be talking a lot about agencies, and more in particular of like what's kind of going on. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I think the old agency model is obviously outdated, right? So the old agency model, for those of you who don't know, is the $1,000 to $2,000 per month kind of retainer gig. And what this basically is they're going to be managing your ads. It's typical lead gen. They're probably going to be posting on your social account, just basic posts. And then maybe they'll have like a go high level CRM that kind of manages the leads for them. And I think that's the old and typical agency model. The only problem that I see with this model is it's just focused on leads, right? And when you only are focusing on leads, your essential pitch to the home service business or the business that you're serving is check out the cost per lead I got you and check out the number of leads. And they don't care about that, right? They don't care because just because you got a low cost per lead and maybe you're using message forums or message campaigns, right? Cool, you got $2 cost per leads, but 1 out of 10 of them converted. So it doesn't really matter to the business owner. They really care about revenue generation, right? So business owners are smart. At the end of the day, they are smart. You're a business owner, they're a business owner. It's B2B, smart and smart. So they've realized that these agencies that are providing bare bones services are not worth the price per month. They can either do it themselves or they can hire a better agency, which we're going to talk about, to do more and be kind of more hands-off. So 99% of those agencies as well are going to be handing off accounts to like junior representatives that they're paying $10 to $15 an hour, maybe from the Philippines, to manage for them. And that's where a lot of people are like, okay, they're poor quality results, or it's not good results, or it's not actually converting. And this is where you really need to start realizing that owners don't care about the number of leads or how cheap they are. They care about one thing, and it's revenue generation. And so the problem that I'm seeing right now, and please, this is just my opinion, this is a hot take, please don't get offended, is right now there is a boom in the home service industry. And I think of this as there's AI, and the corporate world is starting to become a little bit unsettled, right? So currently, a lot of people are losing their jobs in the corporate world, and they're realizing that it's not as secure as it once was. So they're either moving to trades, or they're trying to, maybe move into the online space and start their own business, which is perfect. Like, it's awesome. The more entrepreneurs in the world, the better the world will be. And I fully believe on that. It's an Alex Hormozy thing. Like, I think the more people that enter, the better it'll be, because more competition, it gets better, etc. And it's okay. Millions of businesses are starting to pop up. More home service businesses are going to drastically pop up because trades are popular, right? And the biggest reason is AI can't take trades. AI cannot pour concrete at the end of the day. So that industry, in my eyes, is going to boom. The home service industry is going to be bigger, and it's going to get bigger. And two, as that gets bigger, the number of marketers and agencies jumping into the space is going to rise, which is good, because the agencies that provide more value and ultimately provide a better experience are going to be the ones that win. Here's the little problem though, right? Is most agency owners right now are just looking for fast cash turnarounds. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I feel guilty to this model as well. I wanted the upfront money, provide a lot of value, time, and that was kind of the business model that I was running. For me though, it just wasn't right. And I didn't feel right about this model. I'll kind of get into that a little bit, but agency owners know one thing. Well-run businesses have some cash available that they want to spend on potential revenue growth. One more time. Well-run businesses have potential cash on hand that they want to spend on potential revenue growth. And agency owners know this. And so what's happening is there's agencies going out there that are focusing on one-time high-ticket payments. And that's okay. Like, I'm going to talk about this. This is a high-ticket. This is a very hot topic right now. And I see this as like a very controversial take, because I was that guy, right? I was the one who was selling high ticket, and it was awesome. Like, getting a 5K PIF is sweet, right? But I was selling high ticket one-time services, and I didn't feel good about it. One, I was only focused on my next sale. I was always focused, like the money came in, great. Now I have to focus on the next client or the next sale. Where am I getting my next client from? And that was a revolving door. And that's not good. And because your old clients are going to feel it, you're going to start to get burnt out as the agency owner. Like, where is my next sale coming from? Up and down months. Like, it's going to be not a very well-oiled machine. And a lot of people are going to say that diss me on that. That's okay. This is just my opinion here. And as we kind of get into this, like myself, like I was going crazy, man. I was going crazy. I could not focus on my providing the most amount of value to my clients as humanly possible. And on top of that, it just felt like it was not a good business model, right? So if I could go back, I would change things 100%. I think we all would in business, but I want to note there are some solid coaching programs out there. There are some amazing info products, whatever you want to call it, that are worth their weight in gold. Me personally, I haven't really signed up for any of them, but I've seen them. I've seen them happen. I've seen the results from them. They provide solid information, amazing advice, good communities, and they help you actually genuinely scale without crazy promises. While there's others that are focusing on selling you dreams and hope. That's the difference, right? And that's where you really need to focus on, is that their new method or their new funnel isn't going to be the one that's going to send you to the $1 million mark. That's the difference. So just quick here, like just basic thinking. If somebody is promising you in your home service business 5 to 10x revenue growth, right, from one new simple thing, one easy ad strategy, or a very breakthrough method, do more research, do more homework, go look for clients, go talk to clients, whatever the case may be. This is where you really start to see the value, I think, in the new era of agencies, which I'm going to kind of talk about. And again, this is all just my hot take. So they operate more like the new agencies are going to operate more as revenue growth partners rather than the typical one-time high fee or the typical lead gen, retainer model. They're going to act as revenue growth partners. And this is kind of what it looks like. So personally, I've seen a bunch of high ticket offers. This is what the new model I think is going to slowly start to develop as actual value to the business owner. One, the agency owner is going to be doing the following. They're going to be managing the Facebook and Instagram ads, obviously lead generation. They're going to be helping the owner build out their own system that they own, right? The agency owner doesn't own it. I'm not white labeling Go High Level so you can have it and then when you leave me, you lose it. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to build it out for you and we're going to fully make it. Call automation systems, lead follow-up, quote reminders, appointment reminders, on-the-way text messages. You're really going to focus on their business and that's going to get them drastically through the door. On top of that, you're going to help the owner with general business and personal branding, storytelling, their brand, what it means, how it feels. You're going to be the overall kind of marketing brand department trying to push their brand harder than ever before. You're going to be managing the Google My Business account with updates, offers, posts. You're going to do 10 to 15 content pieces. This is huge. You actually have to be filming the content for them. It's scripted, it's filmed, it's edited, all done for you. And on top of that, you got to be focusing on their local presence in their actual town. Huge. This is where a lot of agencies are going to fall short because they're out of state, whatever the case is, but actually helping them in their local town and their presence is going to be 10 times easier. And they're going to charge for it, right? They're going to charge pretty high prices, $2,500 to $30,000 plus. And in my eyes, this type of agency owner is actually going to be focused on revenue generation rather than just leads. Because once you focus on revenue generation, you focus on brand, you focus on building trust, you focus on building content systems for this business owner, that's going to help them scale. And then they'll see the value in that. And if I was being honest here and just kind of really, really diving in, when I first started this endeavor, I wish I kind of looked at this model a little bit more. And I wish I didn't look at the high ticket cash grab, because at the end of the day, I wish I could have taken, 4 or 5 companies, kind of put them under my wing and just scaled them like crazy. Work with them on a month-to-month basis, focusing on revenue growth rather than trying to transfer the skill set in a 3-month time period, which if you're going to try and transfer skill sets in a 3-month time period, there's a lot more you need to learn for marketing your home service business. It's going to take a little longer. And I'd rather just work with them personally. I would rather work with them kind of one-on-one, have 4 businesses, that's it, and then just kind of scale up from there. And that's what I think what's going to be the new era of agency owners. The biggest difference between the typical agency and the one I'm talking about now is they're not just focusing on lead gen, and they're not just focusing on teaching them and forgetting them. You're with this company for longer term revenue growth, right? This feels like the typical older model, but it's not, right? When you provide high revenue generation for businesses and not just leads, your value is completely different. You are perceived differently towards the business. So you're helping them build brand, authority, content, revenue generation, and local dominance. This right here is the new agency era. And I think this is where people are really going to start to shine, because as the online, high ticket, one-time cash grab starts to get bigger and bigger, more businesses are getting burned. The catch, though, is you got to be local. You got to be local to them. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to shine, because me right now with the couple clients that I have in this type of model is I can just go fix their problem, right? Is I can just go fix it. If I need to, they have something that is really struggling. Like my client's like 6 minutes away from my house. I can just go fix the problem, come back, and he's happy that it's done and we didn't have to schedule a Zoom meeting and all this stuff. And so that's the beauty of it, is you're local to them and you can really support their business. That's what you want to be doing. So the monthly retainer model is kind of what you want to be at. You want to be at a monthly because it's going to hold you to performance and keep performing for this company. So agencies that focus on providing the most amount of value to a local business that needs it at the point of scale that they're in. This is huge. The point of scale that they are currently in will see value in this. And the high ticket businesses will fade out eventually as too many owners get burned from that type of model, because it's happening. And I know people are seeing it. You're going to get, like, there's good and there's bad, unfortunately. But when there's just so many, it's hard to know who's who and what's what. And so they're going to get burned. And at the end of the day, it's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. So this is how you can kind of come in and be the different era of the agency for all those agency guys that are watching my content. And this is different for every business owner, right? So there is different business owners in this game. And just being honest here, I believe that a majority of business owners can handle their marketing on their own. It depends at what point of scale they are at. If they're the guy who's just in the truck, he's by himself, having his own marketing understanding and having like the basics is super, super beneficial. When you start to get to the guy who is maybe like, it's just him and he's got, or not just him, it's him, he's got a couple trucks and maybe he's got a couple staff members helping, I would say about the point of 500,000 a year to about the point of like 2 million a year is kind of the use case of like, does this agency make sense? It really starts to make sense at 1 million to 2. Like that's kind of like where this agency, I think, just fits in right perfect. And that's what you want to be focusing on. So the exact moment of scale for the company is where you can come in and be a value added. You can be a value driver, a revenue driver for the company, and not just a lead generation guy. That's the complete difference, and I think that's the era. And it's okay, because this new model is targeting businesses at that scale, right? So that's what we want to do. And another point to this is because eventually everyone's going to churn. Everyone's going to churn out. Your clients are going to churn out. When it comes to that point, and you preface this in the beginning, when they maybe get to the point where they want to bring it in-house, everybody will. They will see value in bringing stuff in-house, because instead of one guy focusing on 4, it's one guy who's going to be focusing on just me. So they're going to bring it in-house. Just help them. Help them bring it in-house. Help them exit out of you, and maybe you're the one who's bringing the people in for them. That's another service you can really help with if that's something they want to do. Be the person who's not going to be like, oh, you're firing me, get out, cancel everything, pull all the ads, like whatever. Be like, okay, cool. How can we make this transition as easy as humanly possible? And how can I help you get the right guys in there and make sure they do everything perfectly before I leave? Because the last thing I want you to do is call me and be like, hey, dude, like this guy's not working out. Like we need to kind of run everything back up. Can we do a month? Can we do 2? And then try and get guys like let's just make this perfect. Let's make this exit nice, seamless, so your business is scaling correctly. And I want to leave you in good hands. That's the type of model, and that's the type of how do I put it besides energy that you need to be doing and providing towards these businesses. In a world full of smoke, just provide value. Just be so undeniable undeniably valuable to the company, and they will see it, and they'll keep you until it doesn't make sense anymore. And that's just business at the end of the day. So, recapping value. Agency owners are providing the most agency owners are providing the most amount of value when they are in a local setting with the business. They focus on revenue generation and not just leads. They position themselves as a partner for growth within the business, not just as an agency. They help create and grow brand recognition and trust within their local town and business. They help create content done for you: educational, testimonial, valuable. My 3 favorite types of content for home service. And then they clearly lay out marketing plans for the business and showing like what actually is going to work and generate numbers. And they care about the business numbers. I can't tell you like how many guys I've like seen and they're like, oh man, my company is like, they're really struggling. And it's like, you're just kind of hoping that you get your paycheck. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get paid this month because they're struggling. Like, why aren't you like more worried about them getting profitable? Like, why aren't you like, you're the guy who's supposed to be bringing this in. Work harder, get that going so you don't lose that client. They don't churn, whatever the case is. So just laying out plans and actually genuinely caring about the business is going to go a long way. And then at the end of the day, help them with local strategies to build presence and authority. Help them in a local town, like dominance, not just online, local dominance. And here's my hot take. Purely opinion. This is going to make some people mad. And at the end of the day, this is just me learning, right? So one-time high-ticket services that promise 5 to 10x growth from just one method or stream of income seem unreasonable, and they probably are. Again, I was this guy. And let me explain. I was providing one-time high-ticket service with a method that I purely believed to be, like, I believed it in the bottom of my heart to work because it worked for me. What I realized is what works in concrete doesn't work in event rental companies, right? What works in a nail salon isn't going to work in a landscaper. And a little bit of like what's working in HVAC isn't going to be working in garage concrete coatings, right? So there is different things. So one person saying that this model is gospel, this model will get you leads, this model will work for your business. No matter what type of business you are, it's proven to work. It's not true, and that's just my hot take, right? Like there's different methods and things you need to scale a business. If somebody's promising you to 10x a company, right, to realistically 10x a business, you need personnel. You need to know how to hire, how to fire. You need SOPs, you need CRMs, you need processes and procedures, and you need like an actual roadmap of marketing. Like you need a lot of things to kind of make these businesses actually 10x. And if somebody's promising you a 10x growth or a 5x growth on just one new thing, like you just add this into your business and rocket ship, right? That's not going to happen. So there are some amazing programs and coaching businesses out there that are one-time high ticket. They're packed with social proof. They're typically providing a lot of value online, and they're not just giving like guru-y vibes of like, this is the whole $1 million idea or whatever it is. Like it's more so like they're actually just trying to help you, and you can genuinely tell that. I hope you can tell like I'm just trying to provide as much value as humanly possible for agencies and home service businesses, but they're not going to sell you on dreams. They're going to actually, sometimes they won't even sell you. Like you'll just want to join. You just see it, right? So you just see it. And I think that's really what's going to happen. And the local model to me is going to start to shine more and more. Local agencies that are like actually driving impactful revenue generation for businesses are worth their weight in gold. Key there, actually driving impactful revenue growth for a business is what is going to keep retaining clients at the end of the day. So they're not going to sell you a golden strategy that's going to explode your business and finally get you that new shop you've wanted in 6 months. If it sounds unrealistic and unobtainable, set realistic expectations. That's the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now is these companies that are doing this high ticket set high expectations, low results. Set low expectations, high results. And again, I was guilty of this. I'm not the guy who's saying this is bad. I had a high ticket service. I provided a ton of value in a 3-month time frame, and if I could go back and do it differently, I would. Did my businesses and customers that I serve get crazy results? Nuts, right? Like we got some amazing results, but at the end of the day, I was practically like hand holding a lot of it, right? And I was really trying to be there, and I was almost like day in, day out with these companies. That's the difference. So they're going to sell you, a good agency is going to sell you on long-term partners, and they'll typically already have, really solid results for their company. So this is what I personally think the new, era of agencies is going to be. I think as time goes on, more and more people are going to join the agency space. More and more people are going to see this high ticket thing and say, high ticket, like it's awesome. When you close a 5K PIF, it's super cool, right? It's awesome, but you immediately start thinking, where's my next customer going to come from, right? Okay, cool. I just got this for this month. I'm covered. What about next? I still got to put ad spend out and get my customer. Like that model to me just doesn't seem sustainable long term. And what does seem sustainable is actually helping businesses long term. That to me makes just more sense. And again, it's really depending on the stage of the company. If the business is at the stage where the agency makes sense, then it makes sense to, charge that high monthly retainer, to build that amount of content, to really try and push it to another, another mark of revenue. And then at the end of the day, it's going to make sense to build out their marketing department for them. And that's going to be the really, really I think, era of agencies that thrive in a local setting, helping local towns, because as more local businesses start up, they'll want to get that agency and et cetera, et cetera. So this is something that if I could go back and just redo, I would. And I've kind of started doing it a little bit. I have a couple companies right now that we're just kind of working tight knit, and that's it. With me, honestly, I'm way happier that way because I can focus on them. I can build them out things that I really know are going to provide a lot of value. I can build them a lot of content, and that's the way I think the new agency era is going. So yeah, that was my TED Talk. That was my hot take. If I made you mad, I'm really sorry. I wasn't trying to step on anybody's toes. I'm just giving my opinion out there. So yeah, it's opinion at the end of the day. I'm not a $1 million home service exit guy. I'm not a $1 million agency owner by any means. I'm just trying to provide as much value as humanly possible. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more guides, steps, and kind of one-on-one actions of what's working right now in the home service industry, and particularly what has worked for the 30+ businesses I worked with one-on-one, you can join the 3-pillar framework. Check it out. It's for home service businesses and agency owners and marketers. At the end of the day, if I can help both of those people, I'm going to be extremely happy. I want to help my home service guys get more leads, get more money in the door, scale their business, and I want to help my marketers market better and actually provide a service that's going to help the businesses they help with and them more longer term. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Check out the school community. It's 7 days for free. The link is down in the description. It could be the decision that really helps you scale up your company or agency. So again, thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.